Ford 428 FE block. These things are kind of hard to come by, so we don't want to screw this one up. We're going to bore it. It was seized up bad. We're going to put 2 sleeves in it, hopefully just 2 sleeves in it. I've got that bored out. I'll show you the receiver we leave in there and everything for the sleeve, and we'll finish boring. This back hole is bored to 30 over. We got one more hole to drill on this side up to 30 over, and then we'll install our 2 sleeves and we'll pop those ones up to 30 over. So I'll show you here what this all looks like getting ready to put the sleeve in, and then we'll drive the sleeves in and finish the job. There, you can see that big groove in the bottom, and that sleeve's going to drop down in there on top of that. This motor's not going to be junk. This is got an aluminum head setup going on it. Some nice SRP pistons, lighter than the factory ones. Narrower ring, so less parasitic drag. It's got Promax aluminum heads and a full roller cam setup. We're not going to take a chance with the flat tappet stuff. Plus, there is a performance advantage in the roller, so that'll be good. Anyway, we're going to build as stout of a 428 Cobra jet as we can build. We sort of do have to maintain a little bit of a lower RPM format than oftentimes we would do, just because these things it's a heavy crank, and these have a tendency to not like RPM all that much. So this is what we're working from. The other side, you can kind of see it was quite heavily worn. This is why I'm hoping we only have the 2 sleeves to do. There's a double ridge in that cylinder. Double ridge in this cylinder. It's got a lot of wear. But anyway, I believe it's going to get it from what I can see on the one that I did do. Of course, this will need to be finished honed, but you can see it's nice and clean now. So we'll keep working our way at it. So here's where the bear's shitting the buckwheat. Third hole. Stick the camera in there. That's my final cut. That crap's not coming out. We can pull the board bar up after you see it.
Well, you can see there's definite pitting.
Anyway, so now that I've changed all my mics around and everything else to my regular bore instead of my sleeve bore, I'm going to have to reset everything. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill this side out and see if I find any other surprises. And then I'll come back and I'll cut this one for a sleeve, and I'll order whatever more sleeves I need after I see what this side is. Because, you know,
The one good part is that we have seen in your other 2 holes that you've drilled for the sleeve, it's not like the block is thin.
No, the block is super nice.
The block looks super solid in that respect. It was just whatever was in those cylinders really ate. And it ate deep too. Yeah, it's not like there was rust everywhere, but where there was rust, it's holes. You know, it's like. Yeah. So it is unfortunate, but
I mean, see it there now, pretty good. And it's rough. Like, I mean, your finger goes right into it. It's not, and even over here, see, it's still stained over there, and you got a line back here.
You got some pretty serious failures.
Over here, there's some spots. So, that's going to be sleeve number 3.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but
it is. Well, I mean, I guess it's a good time to know it now. At least it's savable, and that's the beauty of having the ability to put the sleeves in, is we can, because this is a rare block. You can't just go find one tomorrow.
No.
If this is a small block Chevy and I didn't want to mess with sleeves, I'd run down to the barn and we got 28 more of them. But
No, or even a 390 or something would be a lot easier to come up with a 428. Like,
yeah, but anyway, we'll just have to order. But like I say, before I start ordering one sleeve, I'm gonna make sure I don't need to order 3 sleeves, whatever.
Yep.
And we'll put as many sleeves as we have to. We'll just fix it. I mean, all you can do.
Yep.
So that's the game plan.
Perfect.
So 3 or 4 days later, I got my sleeve. The third one I had to put in. We put them in a little different. Most everybody I know does these things, you smash them into a block of wood. We've done that. Wasn't that impressed with it. We made a sleeve pusher deal. And works pretty fair. The sleeve has a little chamfer on it. And I've had this thing in the freezer for 36 hours or so. So it shrink it up some. I've got a 3 thou press fit to go into this block. I take my pusher, put it on there. This usually works pretty slick. Although, like anything else, you can have days where it doesn't. Hopefully today's one of the good days. And the only thing I gotta do, which I didn't do, was put Loctite on it. That would be a boo-boo to forget that. So before I get too far into this, I'll stop what I'm doing and put the Loctite on. So we put a pretty good bunch of Loctite on. I mean, everybody does it, and I can see the reason for it. The only thing is, with a 3000 press fit, I'm not sure how much Loctite's actually left in there, but regardless, I'm not taking any chances. And it probably seals at least the top and bottom some, but you'll see it down there on the lower register, and you'll see it around the top. It actually kind of helps you around the top to, when you're cutting the top of the sleeve down, because these things are too long. So when you put them in there, I'll show you after. When I put it in there, I'll cut it. And I'll knock that thing down to the block height. We'll probably deck this block too. A lot of times on the cheaper jobs, I'll just cut it down really careful and get it to deck height. But in this case, this one's a little fussier. We'll probably go ahead and do it right, deck it. And plus we don't know what this block has been through, you know, and everything else. And it very well might not be straight, probably isn't, truth be told. It's old, been through a lot of heat cycles. I couldn't see anything with straight edge that would indicate an issue, or I would have decked it before I bored it, but you know, could be just a little. I'm not sure on these old Y blocks if they bother as much, or FE blocks, not really Y blocks, same design on the bottom. I don't know if they bother as much. The other small block cords and the big block cords, they have a lot of them that are a little crooked. So you go to put the crank in, you'll see, you can tell it's just not right. A little line on it. And oh, just getting that thing up there settled. That's in there nice. And that is not going well. I tell right away, it's wanting to be crooked. That is no bueno. It's really not very nice. This one's gonna be fun. I'll have to take and tap it a little bit here. say, this really is not letting the play nice. Give her a little shot. It is really wanting to go crooked. Everything I do. Look, that chamfer doesn't want to start. What a pygmy. Why this one wants to be so bad? Look at that thing.
Put pressure.
I tell you what, when I put pressure on it, it didn't like it. There, it started a little now. I believe she's seated.
Give her a tap for good measure.
Well, it changed sound pretty good.
The homemade Torrington bearing looks working really good.
That works really good. I'm just thinking, the way it's sounding, it still wants to turn. I think
it's buried.
I think it's down. We'll inspect it and see. Yeah, that grease washer deal was an improvement on the design.
It definitely was.
It looks like she's seated to me.
Yep, it's squished out. Some Loctite at the bottom.
Yeah, that Loctite at the bottom is...
That's kind of what you get, and we have to trim it.
Yeah, we'll put the boring bar on it now, and I use just a flat cut knife and...
Yep. I definitely think it's in there.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt about it.
I don't think so.
As hard as it sounded like it seated down, that impact is...
That impact
a
is
strong son of a bitch.
definitely tough.
I mean, it is all there.
But I mean, this is going to be a pretty nice engine. I mean, it's got fresh bore, fresh sleeves, roller cam, aluminum heads.
Yep. Yeah, you'll have to do a little work on those heads and
A little bit, but
make those a little better.
we got to
I'm trying
order.
to track down that intake.
We got to order on an intake.
That the intake we got for it is right there, and it is sad.
Yeah, the ports are.
We looked at it here
Awful.
the other day. This is not going to cut the Mustang. It's about
Half.
it's got to be a third at least, like realistically.
Like it's probably 30% smaller than Newport.
Yeah. A good, I'd say
Like-
a good strong 30.
Look, somebody's cutting. Why is there a weld on that?
Well, it may have had some history.
Like,
Anyway, I think this needs to go. We may stick it on there for now to cover the engine up while we're waiting for an intake. I was reading a review today there. I was looking at it on Summit, just seeing about fit and stuff. And guy says he waited 10 months, so it's not good. Good news is we don't actually have a car to put it in yet. So I'm thinking
that's a good problem.
he can wait.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the car he's going to put it in, he wants a 67 Mustang. He's trying to find a fastback body, hasn't found one. So I found a fastback conversion kit and probably buy a coupe body. And I've got to build him a fastback, so it'll be a little while before.
Yeah, it's going to be a
Considering we're booked all winter.
It's going to be definitely a process.
And we already took one job for spring.
Yeah.
It's not something we're going to do immediately. So
It would be cool to at least dyno it and see
Yeah.
what it
Yeah,
actually would
yeah,
make.
but if we don't have the right intake, there's no point in that.
That's a fact.
That intake's gonna castrate it. I mean, there's just no point.
No. So that's the
It'd be
update.
gelding.
That's the update on how to put a sleeve in, I guess.
Yeah, so I'll put the boring bar on it and I'll show everybody how to chop that down.
Perfect.
That's it. Alright, so I loaded the boring bar up. I got it strapped down. I centered it. I did another video showing how we do all that stuff if anybody wants to see it. And then some guys tell me they just hit these with a hammer and they knock off flush with the block. I'm not going to do that. I actually kind of trust the guy that told me that, but still, just don't want to do it. You can take a zip cut and cut it off, but then it's hard to cut. I gotta load the boring bar on here anyway, so I don't see any reason not to cut it. I got a nice flat cutter, and you can just cut it right down there and flush with your deck. I don't see any reason to do it any other way. If you cut it off with a zip cut, it's gonna be jagged, hard as hell in your cutter, it rattles and shakes. I'm not super impressed with doing it that way. This way I put it on, I just pull it down to the deck. I do it manually. I don't use the feed because it'd be a little risky, but plus it's a pretty big cut. So I just go down kind of easy. I do think I don't have any glasses on. It'd be a good idea because stuff flies pretty good. These little cast iron chips there, they're kind of deadly in the burn. You'll see as it's coming down, there's ways to cut. When I get down there close to the bottom, because I've got all that Loctite on there, you'll start to see it. It actually makes a pretty good definite line. You can see when you get down there clean. So you just go real easy at it. And you can load it in the planer too after. But that's I'll finish boring it. I'll do everything. I'll probably take it and get it. I may clean it first. I might take it to the line home first too. Then I'm really parallel, but we'll see. You got that down pretty quick. Little tips are hot, I'll tell you that. Now I gotta put the boring bar on here anyway because these sleeves don't come finished boring. So, I mean, for what this takes, it seems like the easy way to do it to me. I guess you have a sleeve that was 4 miles too long, you might want to do something else, but you have to get the boring bar loaded. Sometimes today's world, when they're backward, you just take what you can get. I've been installing some sleeves not too long ago. They were high enough, I had to cut them. But the outside diameter was right, the inside diameter was right. The only was the height, and those were available, and the other ones were going to be a weight. So, do what you can do. I mean, I could chuck them in the lathe too and cut them down to the length I want before I get started. I would fold, but it seems a little. It's another step, you know. I am doing a little careful here now, but I'm getting down there. I can start to see that Loctite coming up now. And that's it, I believe. I'll shut it off here and check it. Yes, sir. Nice and flush. You see how that Loctite turns color on you? Yeah, so you see how the Loctite changes color. It lets you know where your edge is. You just do that and you stop. You feel there's no edge whatsoever, which is awesome. And then we'll plane, we'll deck it, 5 thou probably, something like that. Just even everything off as a double check. But that's that. So now I will get ready and I'll bore it. I'll get it up to the size of the rest of them and that hole will be done. Finally we'll be done with the boring bar. So there's your finished product. And you can see in the bottom, you can really not see the register You see a change in material. And look at the other ones. These I've dragged a hone through. You don't see it anymore. I just dragged a little ball hone through it. I haven't honed it properly. It's all honed properly and everything. You won't see a thing. Cut my little chamfer edge at the top, like I do on all of them. That makes your piston installation a hell of a lot easier. If you leave that up there square and hard, it's a booger. But anyway, finally done. So we'll deck it, we'll hone it, we'll line hone it, and I gotta knock all these frost plugs out of it next, and knock cam bearings out of it and so on. And it'll go through a few cleanings, and it'll, like I say, go in 2 more machines, 3 more machines with the honer, and it'll be done.